crypto market remains choppy. Bitcoin creating all this volatility. But there seems to be a short-term pattern playing out inside this medium outlook. If you do look at the XRP, story is not different. You can see something playing out on a shorter horizon, and the same goes on to change onto the medium term moves. Now, if you look at Ether, you can see like, okay, you have the daily candle which just closed as a piercing candle. But again, it shows you something positive. We broke above the moving average. We came back down to the moving average. We are holding on to that level as a support. What does the volume shows you? What does the MACD shows you? So we want to actually understand what the market is showing us. Is the Bitcoin dominance showing money is being taken away from the altcoins? Or is that the opposite? Does the altcoin market as a whole show you anything positive? These are different questions which you need to answer yourself before you enter this market when it is in red. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, when you do look at the market, keep in mind, we're still close to $2.6, $2.7 trillion. We have not dropped. We're still at that range, which is a great thing to watch. If you do take individual assets on a micro and then you zoom in, say XRP showed a possible run to the upside, trying to make a local high, but all of a sudden Bitcoin started dropping. So that run didn't last much. But at the same time, if we think about it, if XRP didn't run up, maybe the drop would have been even bigger. We should have broken to the downside. But as of now, with that run up, it held, which is a good thing. Now, the moment you step back in XRP terms and you look for the price action, you see like, okay, this is a support which is turning into a resistance. So it was a support that turned into a resistance, which then turned into a support. Fine. So here you have hidden bullish divergence, which is still valid. You have the MACD trying to cross to the upside. So if you do look at all of what we have seen in the recent past and look for what happened after such a MACD cross, after such a divergence in the RSI, it kind of shows whether you are looking for a 10x run up or not. Something is coming. Maybe it's small. Maybe it's a move from 0.49 towards 0.75. That at this point would be a relief, because if we do break above 0.75, that would be considered as a relief rally initially. And then the moment we break 0.9, now, yeah, the FOMO is what we are looking for. Now, on the Ether market, say you're looking at the daily volume. You had decent increase in the daily volume, which provided very good upside in a daily candle. Because last time when you had similar run to the upside, you had way more in volume. Right? Now, what's the next here? You had a little bit less in selling volume, and the price action kind of behaved in a similar way. But this movement, which broke to the upside, is still valid. If we put that on a line chart, this is what you see. The price moved above the moving average. It is coming back down to test the moving average. The moment you see we are holding on to that moving average, that shows the direction of moving average on a macro is what you are going to follow. This is your direction. You can actually see which direction the price is moving, which is easy at this point. When you zoom out on a macro, you know something is just starting. So that's Ether on a daily. Now you go on to the total market, the altcoin market. There is excluding Ether because we just talked about Ether. We want to see what the other side is showing us. The hidden bullish divergence is still in the market. Price is trending to the upside here, whereas the RSI is going to the downside. So that shows some buying strength happening. Now, for a double bottom event to form here, you need the price to slow down, enter here, and then bounce off. So if that pattern stays valid, that means most likely we are going to see something. Say, for example, you come on here in the market, you're looking at the performing assets. Now, we had our calls on all these three over last 1 week, and we showed you why, based on the charts of Ether, based on the charts of dollar, based on the charts of Bitcoin, different type of analysis. We went through that. Say if you take one of that up here, which is, say, we'll go on to Phantom, which is FTM. While looking at that asset, we would argue, okay, the MACD has not yet crossed to the upside. The RSI shows you still have some room to test that resistance. So on a shorter horizon, you still have some room. Fine. The moment you start zooming out on the same asset, asking the question where the hell we are, you see that this level of resistance has stayed there. Right? This is a range. If you do look at it, clearly you'll see this. This has been acting as a strong resistance for a long period of time. We had that range as a support, then as a resistance multiple times. Now you broke to the upside, you're retesting it, it's trying to bounce off. Whether you do this and bounce off, or you come here and bounce off, it doesn't make much of a difference unless you are, highly levered. That's a different game. Where the risk is substantially higher, you need to balance it. If not, the market is going to slap you. So here we are, we're looking at this. The trend line shows you on a 3-day, it's bouncing off from a trend line, which is valid all the way from September 2023. So we can easily say that September to December run up, which we actually had, which was a decent run up actually, right? Inside the accumulation range. Now we are looking to repeat something similar. Okay, let's put that in a perspective. The first one was like a 230% move. That's decent move. The next one was a 315% move. If that's true, then you're going to look for a 400% move from here. Now let's plot that and say if the price actually does that, where the hell are we? We are running really hot, breaking through into 4 more season. That's like, $4. Right now you're at $1. So you kind of get to see where the market is taking you. But yes, there still will be confusion. You will have to look at it on a higher time frame structure and put the argument of why would we go up? How much room do we have? And on a monthly, it's so clear that you're doing the 1 and you're going for the wave 2. You'll have this correction for sure. At some point it will come. But now it's showing you the 1, the 2, the 3. Yeah, now to break those micro, medium, macro wave structure, you'll have to break it down into multiple pieces. But the idea here is that market is showing you different assets which are non-correlated, are showing you different signals. So the timing is going to be off on one to another if they are not correlated. If they are highly correlated, you'll see them running higher together. So if you're making a portfolio, make sure you have assets from various different correlations. If not, the trouble is all of them go up together, all of them come back down together. That doesn't diversify your risk, especially when you are trading, whether you're using a spot back to trade or a levered back to trade. That kind of creates a lot of difference in risk. So now you come back here, you look at XRP, you understood this as a factor, you look at XLM, it's showing you something similar. All of them are in the same industry. The moment you go on to a small cap in the same industry, you're now trying to look for what we can observe, what we can learn. The price action still shows you on a macro chart here. This was your accumulation. This was the pattern. You had a reversal, very strong one. You had a burst, you had a corrective movement. Now the price is slowly trying to do this kind of a move, which is, in my opinion, going to be really good. Any retest here is going to be a huge opportunity for those who are looking to ride. But yes, when you go on to the small caps, the risk is comparatively higher. But you look at this and ask the question like, is it only me looking at it? No, the volume was substantial. We entered here, right, before that breakout, which was beneficial for us. So you position yourself before a big pump. If there is a correction, you position yourself before the next leg to the upside. Otherwise, all that you're doing is chasing the green candles, which will not look good. I mean, with experience in the market, I can see last 8 years, I've seen a lot of different things. I've tried a lot of different things, but I understand that's not the thing you want to do, especially when you're on a medium to long-term chart. You want to position yourself before a breakout. Say you look at one pattern. Now, there is few assets which are showing you this. A resistance and prices leaning towards that resistance. It's getting congested, a bottleneck, and then a breakthrough. So no one knows which day it's going to break out. But the RSI kind of shows you it's leading towards that. So when the daily RSI is getting closer and closer to 70, you're getting close to a ride. Take that equation, come here, look at XRP. It's still at 50. It's not this week. Most likely you'll have to wait a little bit more. And that's something not everyone would like to listen to as an XRP holder, right? That's why I say you have to go to the market. You have to look at what the market is saying. That's the short-term move in the market. When you see a lot of these assets riding to the upside, entering into that category, say whether you take NEO, which we had the breakout call, and it actually went through the targets. And if you look at the FTM, you'll see all of these assets follow something. The moment you go onto the medium cap, the moment you go onto the micro cap, now you're watching a lot of these coins showing you something. Say you take MX here. You want to learn from what happened so that you can use it to perfection. Right now, there is nothing as perfect movement. As a trader, you're trying to improvise. Now, this is now going through the sky. It's breaking through a lot of these ranges. And that's the exact same thing which I shared with the SI family. Now, when I say that, I'll actually take you there so that you know. It was a recent one. We talked about this, saying if things play out, you're going to look through these kind of numbers because this is the pattern. These are the average movement, medium movement. You have a lot of different numbers there. But it was for spot riders. It was for those who are looking for low levered trades. Otherwise, your risk is substantially higher. Any short-term wick will kill you. Now, right now the price is close to 5.6. So from that breakout, the price has already moved up close to 88, 90%. Now, what was special about that call? Yeah, I'm showing you the pattern, the breakout, the axis to the upside. But if you do look at the price action, it was showing you the RSI was entering the overbought territory on a 3-day. It was already there for a daily. It is getting really, really close at that point on the weekly. That's where you get to see this. Now, each and every time, historically speaking, when you see the RSI entering there, it gives you an opportunity. Now, go to Ether. Look at where we are on a daily. You're nowhere close there. 3-day, you're coming down from there. Weekly shows you you're still close to that. So any bounce on a 4-hour candle, pushing it back to the upside, is going to actually lead you back into the overbought territory soon because your higher time frame structure is still there and the monthly is flirting with that range. So either this month or the next month, you're going to see the monthly entering there. That's exactly where you want to hold on to the assets, whichever you have. Because the moment you go into this, you'll see something. Before really big opportunities come into the market, some people don't want you to be involved. They want you to be kicked out for the leg 1 or for the leg 2 or for the leg 3. They will try as much as possible. When I say they, It's the whales. It's the financial institutions. We all know that. So if you go 10x, 20x, highly levered, they will get you easily. So you need to know your risk tolerance. You need to know your supports. You need to know different structure which the market is showing. We shared a thought process for, say, Bitcoin in here, saying, okay, look for these, right? We did go down to that point of support. We bounced off. We came close to the resistance level of 370 to 800 somewhere. Where exactly did we come? Yeah, 72, 625. So reached this range above the two. Then you came back down to that trend line. Then you came back down to that trend line. There was some panic involved. Then you went back up. Then you may go back up. So that odds which we posted there, like a few days back, 5 days back, is now slowly playing itself out. So we are looking for volatility. Without volatility, this distribution phase, whether it's on a micro or a macro, it won't age well. So if we do watch that the price action is getting closer and closer to the halving, and it is generating a lot more confusion in the market, there is going to be a lot of trap in the market. The price action can just break to the upside and then go back down. So that is going to be a super big range where a lot of people would be trapped. Because if the corrections come back down, as we were discussing from some time, whether you are a bull on this asset or not, you will be wrecked if you have any kind of leverage. So understand the difference between what you can do in the market and what you can imagine. It's good to imagine when you have spot, but not in leverage. So whenever there is a signal that the market is giving you that I'm going down, be serious. Look at it and take the necessary measures. Say here, you can actually put that argument and say, okay, the volume is playing out very well. Some buying volume, the price went up. Some selling volume, which is higher than the previous candle, pushed the price back down. So you're still ranging inside that. You want to see what the higher time frame structure shows. And it is still showing you with little volume, you went up. With even little volume, you're halfway through. So the direction is still the same. You're consolidating with this bullish divergence. So you're waiting for a breakout. And that does look like a rectangle, which can break to the upside. If it breaks to the downside, it's an entirely different story. So we are following this up. We'll follow this up so that you guys don't make a wrong decision, so that you can take the best decision with all the information as you are getting here in the SI family. And if you'd like to get all of this in the SI family, you can follow the link in the description below or follow it in the Twitter. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.